All right, hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Core and Restore. My name is Jenny. For class today, if you want to grab some props for the Restore part, if you like to support yourself, I have a blanket, but you can use a bolster, a cushion, a couch cushion, stack of pillows, anything to kind of create a little pillow heaven for yourself when we start to get down to the good stuff. I also have a block. We don't always use it. I don't have anything planned for a block specifically, but if you do have a block or two and you like to use those in your practice, then please grab one of those. And happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out there, all of the paternal influences, that don't always come biologically. And so for today, I would like to focus on kind of connecting to our divine masculine energy. A lot of times the divine feminine energy gets a lot of play, especially lately, which is amazing. We all have both the masculine and feminine energies within us, and the feminine definitely needs to be honored. But the masculine can sometimes get a bad rap, Historically, the masculine energy is reflected more in the shadow side, through kind of bloodthirsty arrogance, through domineering, through destruction, that can lead to wars, to genocides, to the spreading of greed and oppression, prejudice, corruption, witch hunts, dictatorships, cults, all sorts of crazy things. And of course, there's not just men that are leading these, but historically, it has been that masculine energetic drive that is behind all of these. And what we want to do in our yoga practice and in our lives is to find that balance, find the light side of our divine masculine energy, find that self-confidence, that ability to be objective, to think critically, to, have emotional balance, strong boundaries, be self-assertive, have willpower, be self-disciplined with mental clarity. So the way that we can do that through our practice is to really channel our warrior energy, that third chakra, that warrior fire within us. This is where our self-discipline, our willpower, that oomph that pushes us forward, that's where that resides. Excuse me. So, got allergies. So we are going to be focusing on this core, of course, in Core and Restore, but really trying to bring some of that divine masculine energy in. So let's get started. We'll start with a nice, firm foundation. So find that connection to your sits bones. If it helps, sit on a blanket, sit on a prop, but really get those sits bones rooted if you need to move any flesh out of the way, and start to build that structure, that strength from the ground up. That's another way to honor our divinity, our masculine divinity within our practice, is to focus on structure, to focus on alignment. So find that connection to the hips. Lengthen up through the crown of the head. Finding that nice tall spine. The hands can rest along the thighs, on the knees, or down alongside the body. Sit up nice and tall, relax in the shoulders. Take a few deep rounds of breath here. You're welcome to close the eyes. Breathe nice and deep in through the nose and out of the nose. Taking some time to settle into ground. You're welcome to fire up ujjayi breathing, finding that activation of the muscles in the back of the throat. So as you breathe in and out of the nose, it gives you that oceanic sound, that whisper breath. Now maintaining this structure, this connection to the sits bones, this nice length in the spine, will bring in a little fluidity, a little movement, little feminine energy by circling the torso around. So we're keeping the spine nice and straight. We're not dipping the shoulders down. We're just moving through that torso. So again, while we're focusing on channeling and enhancing our divine masculine, we need to bring in that divine feminine because they play together. They help find that balance. They balance each other out. All right, reverse direction of those circles. And no matter who you are, man, woman, trans, non-binary, however you identify, we all have both masculine and feminine energy within us that need to be balanced, because overactive in either one of those can be too much, can, like I listed off the divine, or excuse me, the masculine dark side, there is a shadow side to the feminine as well. So we just want to balance that out. All right, rounding out our circles. Now we're gonna bring in a little fire breath. So we're gonna lengthen up, sitting up nice and tall. And if you'd like, you can just leave the hands where they are. If you want a little extra, bring the hands, fingertips to the shoulders. All right, so fire breath is a very active inhale, passive exhale. So the exhale just kind of happens as you force that inhale in. We're gonna be drawing the belly in towards the spine, up towards the heart as we breathe through the nose. So it's gonna look a little something like this. And excuse me, I said that wrong. It's an active exhale. The inhale will be passive. So with that activity in the belly, that breath through the nose, if you want, we're gonna add the arms. So you can breathe in and continue on. If you have allergies like me, you may be snotting a little bit. No, just kidding. A few more rounds. Last one, up and down. Awesome work. Starting to feel that heat, feel that fire. All right, if you'd like, keep the hands on the shoulders. We're gonna bring in some twisting with that fire breath. Inhale to twist to the right, exhale, twist to the left. Nothing forceful, we're not throwing our body around, but we are finding a little bit of a flow here. So it'll be like this. So a little slower fire breath, but still building up that heat. Keep going. A few more. And 3, 2, 1, all the way back to center. Awesome work. Remove any props you're sitting on, uncross through the legs. We'll start to lower down nice and slow, coming all the way down onto the back. And then from here, we're gonna set up a low boat pose. So if you do have sensitivity in the neck, you're welcome to bring in a blanket or a prop or something to support the neck. Just do the best you can with this. We're gonna inhale to raise the head, neck, and shoulders up off the ground, so that the backs of the shoulders are hovering, and then we're gonna start to hover through the legs. You can reach out through the arms, they can reach out through the side, they could also come back to support the head. You want up the feet and the head at about the same distance. As you draw the belly down, hug ribs in. A static hold, but we're gonna be building lots of heat here. Find your breath, embrace the shake. If it's too much to have the feet raised, go ahead and lower them down, especially if you're getting pain in the low back or if it's causing you to arch through the low back. Find your breath. All right, now you're welcome to stay here if this is firing up, this is giving you enough sensation. If you want a little more, we're gonna start to rise up, bend through the knees, maybe we'll come up. And exhale, lower back down. Inhale, raise it up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale up. Exhale down. A few more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Feeling that? Woo! Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last one with the hold. Inhale up and pause. Pause up in your boat pose. Hands can come behind the knees. If you need, release one or both feet down. But if you can, keep those shins parallel. Keep that spine extended. Breathe. Awesome work. If you want a little more challenge, reach the arms up. Maybe the legs start to extend. Maybe they don't. Find your challenge. Awesome work. One more deep inhale. On the exhale, draw the knees in towards the chest as you rock back onto the spine. Draw the knees in, hug the legs. Maybe wrap around, bring the head towards the forehead. Head towards the knees. And squeeze, 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 squeeze every single muscle in the body. Squeeze, deep inhale. Hold. And on the exhale, release, burst out. And flat on the ground, reach overhead, stretch out through the arms. Nice big good morning stretch. Whew. Awesome work. I'm already feeling a little sweaty here. Let's keep it moving. Knees back in towards the chest. Rock and roll up and down the length of the spine. A little back massage. We'll take this to plank pose. So when you're ready, rock up, cross the ankles, plant the hands, hop or step back to plank, or find a transition that works for you. Spread out through the hands. Press the ground away. Lengthen through the spine, lengthen out through the heels, or lower the knees down, lengthen out through the knees. If you're still working on building core strength and hip flexibility, then either have the knees down or with the knees lifted, you're welcome to bring the hips a little higher. We don't want them so high that it's like we're in a downward dog, and we don't want so low that we're pressing into the low back. Awesome work. A few more rounds of breath here in this static hold. Really focusing on foundation. We're pressing into the hands, spreading out through the feet, lifting through the back of the heart, lengthening through the spine. Awesome work. One more deep inhale. Exhale, lower halfway down, bend the elbows, chaturanga push-up, press back up, and lower all the way down this time, all the way to the belly. Pointing the toes, pressing the tops of the feet. Inhale up to cobra, a little stretch for the back, for the belly. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, raise it up. Exhale, lower. Last one, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. This round, plant the toes, elbows draw together, press the ground away, plank. Exhale, downward dog. Awesome work. Find your down dog. Feel free to pedal out through the feet, or if you've done a practice with me when we shake in down dog and that resonates with you, feel free to do that. Felt kind of weird the first few times I tried it, but it actually feels really good, really great release. All right, so now we're going to kind of imagine that our spine is kind of like a wave here. So we're going to kind of wave, starting with the lift of the hips, rounding through the spine. We're going to wave forward to our plank, and then wave it back to our downward dog. Wave it forward, and wave it back. Awesome. Few more rounds here, strengthening through the shoulders, strengthening in the core. Wave it forward, and bring it back. Another way to think of it is that there's a hurdle across the middle of our mat. We've got to go up and over to our plank, and up and over back to our downward dog. Awesome work. Few more. Last one. Bring it forward to plank and send it back. Downward dog. Awesome work. Root through the feet. Inhale, start to extend the right leg up. Keep the hips squared. Extend through the leg. Find your breath. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, bend the knee, heel towards the glute. Open up through that knee without opening up through the shoulders. Awesome work. Inhale, re-extend through that right leg. Exhale, step the foot forward between the hands. All right, we're lowering that back knee down for this first round. Planting into all four corners of that front foot. Draw the right foot back. Send the chest forward. Awesome work. We're rooting down towards the feet, so we're pressing into the bottom of that top foot, pressing into the top of that back foot. And then inhale, raise up, low crescent lunge. Hands could come to the knee. They could reach forward, up and back. Focus on your foundation here, on your structure, pressing into the feet. Hips are squared, so that right hip drawing back, left hip shifting forward. And then if you do have a little more mobility, to move squared hips forward to find that sensation there. But what we don't want is to open up through the hips. Want them nice and squared. Awesome work. One more deep inhale here. Exhale, release it down. We're gonna prop the back toe this time. Lift that back knee up. Same thing, find that foundation. Lengthen through the spine. Draw right foot back, or right hip back. Right, left hip forward. There we go, I'll get it. And then we'll inhale, raise up to our high crescent lunge. And hands can come to the knee. They can scoot forward, up and back. We've got that right hip drawing back. Left hip shifting forward. Hips are squared forward. If it helps, bring the hands there. Tune into the back. If it's not feeling awesome to have the chest raised, hover the chest. Lengthen through the spine. Find that diagonal. Or again, you can work with a little back bending. Hands on the hips to keep them squared, or find whatever works best for the hands. Beautiful work. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, open up, warrior two. We're pivoting the back heel down. Open up into our warrior pose. Awesome work. Arms extend out. We've got that bend in the front knee. Focusing on foundation. We're pressing down into the feet. Front toes, front knee, tractioning forward. Back foot at an angle as you press into that back leg. Back leg is lifting and active. Hips are lowering. Spine extending. Arms reaching out. Awesome work. Find that fire in your belly. Find that structure. Find that strength. Nice work. Find that divine masculine energy. Beautiful. Finding a little more strength in those legs. Inhale, straight through the legs. Reach the arms up. Exhale, rebend, re-extend. Inhale, reach them up, straight through the leg. Exhale, rebend. Last one. Inhale, straight through the arms, straight through the leg. Exhale, rebend, re-extend. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale, release the hands. Interlace the hands behind you if you can. Roll the shoulders back and down. Lift through the heart. Notice if the ribs start to splay out, bring them in. Hug those ribs in. Beautiful work. You can stay here in this beautiful heart opener. Or if you'd like, slowly starting to bow the chest forward, starting to lower down into a humble warrior. Bowing to ourself, bowing to our inner strength. Maybe the arms raise overhead as the head lowers down. We're continuing to press into the feet. Find that strength and structure through the legs. Find that softness and ease in the upper body. Beautiful work. When you're ready, if the arms are raised overhead, nice and slow, start to lower them down. Keep the hands interlaced as you raise back up, rooting hands down. Beautiful work. Inhale, arms open up along horizon. Exhale, cartwheel the hands all the way down. Plant the hands, draw the foot back through plank. Fantastic work. We're in our plank pose. We're going to do that half chaturanga push-up, so lower halfway down. Press back up. And then lower all the way down to the belly. You could hover if you want to take upward dog this time instead of cobra. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. Press up through plank. And downward dog. Awesome work. Take a few rounds of breath here. I'm gonna grab a drink. So you're welcome to stay in downward dog, taking a few rounds of breath, or if you need a little hydration. All right. From our downward dog, we will take it to the left side. So we're going to inhale to extend that left leg forward, up, and back. Keeping the hips squared at first. Inhale to lengthen through the spine, through the heel. Exhale, bend the knee, heel towards the glute. Inhale, lift the knee, open through the hips without opening through the chest. So we're not dropping into that right shoulder. We're not twisting. Shoulders are nice and squared. Inhale, re-extend, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the foot between the hands. Lower that back knee down. And take your time here. Press into the to the bottom, all four corners of that front foot. Back foot is pressing into the ground. We've got that squaring through the hips. So this time the left hip drawing back, the right hip shifting forward. And if you need to come up to find that squaring through the hips, and then shifting the whole hip girdle forward. So again, we're not opening up, the hips are nice and squared. Just coming to whatever level feels right for you. Getting a nice stretch through that hip flexor, through the front hamstring. Awesome work, finding some strength here. And arms can reach up. You can be doing whatever works for you. In our low crescent lunge. Awesome work, finding that length in the spine, whether you're coming towards a gentle back bend or if you're working with that diagonal in the spine. All right, one more inhale to lengthen. Exhale, release the hands down, prop the back toe, lift the back knee up, find that activity there. Rooting back through the heels, you press to the ball of that back foot, lift through that back quad. Awesome work, inhale, raise up, high crescent lunge. Find what works for the hands. You come to the knees, goalpost, or extend. Or once again, working with those squared hips. Hands can come to the hips as the left hip draws back, right hip shifts forward, and we're not opening up quite yet. Fantastic work. Arms doing what feels right here. Inner thighs are drawing together. So we're building that strength in the foundation through our legs. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Nice work. So once again, tuning into that foundation. Front toes, front knee, tractioning forward. Pressing into that back foot. Legs are active, hips are open, spine extending, arms extend. Nice work. We've got a little external rotation of that front knee to help find that opening. All right, when you're ready, inhale straight through the leg, reach up through the arms. Exhale, bend and extend. Inhale, reach up as you straighten through that front leg. Exhale, bend and extend, building some strength in the legs. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, rebend. Pause here, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release the hands, interlace behind the back. Roll the shoulders back and down, lift through the chest. Hands are lengthening down towards the ground. You're welcome to stay here, or once again, bow forward to a humble warrior. Bringing the left shoulder in front of the left knee as you lower the head down, maybe arms raise overhead. You don't have to come all the way down. You could hover the chest. You can find whatever feels right for you here. But we're connecting to our foundation. We're pressing into the feet, finding that strength and structure in the lower body as the upper body is soft. Fantastic work. When you're ready to come out, if the arms are raised overhead, lower them first and start to raise the chest. Find that strength in the core. Arms stay interlaced as you root the hands down, open through the chest. Inhale, re-extend the arms. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Frame the foot, draw the foot back through plank. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale, lower to your push-up. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga or to the belly. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, send it back. Downward dog. Oh, take a few rounds of breath here. Awesome work. All right, remember that wave over the hurdle? Here we go. Inhale to start to wave it forward as you shift forward through plank. Exhale, wave it back, hips up and over the hurdle as you come to downward dog. 2 more. Inhale, lift up and over to plank. Exhale, send it back. Downward dog. Last one. Inhale, forward. Wave it forward to plank. Exhale, send it back. Awesome work. Now this round, we're coming forward through our plank, holding here, and then we're lowered down to the forearms. If you do need to come down to the hands and knees to get your forearms set up, feel free. We do want the elbows pretty parallel, so if it helps, you can grab opposite biceps to get that right positioning. Excuse me. Awesome work. So we're pressing into the elbows and the forearms this time, but we're still getting that lift to the back of the heart. Awesome. This is a challenge for that core. Again, you can lift the hips if you have pressure in the low back or if you're still building on hip flexor strength, but we don't want it so high that it's like a dolphin. We're still working on our planks, and we don't want it so low that it's causing pain and compression through the low back. Awesome work. Press into the feet. 1 more deep round of breath. Awesome work. When you're ready, lower the knees. Send the hips back. You can walk the hands back, find child's pose. Whew, I don't know about you guys, but I'm sweating. Feel free to let a sigh or two out of the mouth, especially if you have a lot of heat built up in the body. That's a nice way to kind of expel some heat. Awesome work. We are almost to the restore part. Got a few more moves for you. Are you ready? Here we go. We are coming up through our tabletop. Taking the knees as wide as the hips, spread out through the hands. Just like we had in our plank, lengthen through the spine, press the ground away. All right, now we're bringing in that fire breath from our tabletop. So breathing in through the nose. It'll cause some natural arching through the spine. But again, we're not throwing the spine around, so we're not, really exaggerating that. We're just kind of letting it happen. A few more. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Let it go. Awesome work. Prop the toes. We're going to start to hover the knees, coming through a bear pose. All right, so we're still pressing the ground away, lengthening through the spine, just knees are hovering, core is engaged. Awesome work. Keep on breathing. And nice and slow, lift the hips, downward dog. Okay, here we go. Inhale, extend right leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, open through the hips. Now we've got that hurdle here. And we're going to bring that right foot up and over. So inhale, coming up and over the hurdle, forward through plank, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, up and over, back through 3-legged dog. Inhale, up and over, knee across the left elbow. Inhale, or exhale, back, 3-legged dog. Inhale, up and over that hurdle, knee comes towards nose. And exhale, send it back. Woo! Ready, 1 more. Inhale, up and over, right knee to right elbow. Pause here. Right knee, left elbow. Inhale, right knee, right elbow. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. 1 more. Inhale, right knee, right elbow. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. And then we're going to step the foot forward, setting up a pigeon pose. If you want to bring the right foot over towards the left, we want to lower that right knee down. So again, we're still working with squared hips here. If you want, bring in a cushion, bring in a pillow, bring in a blanket, bolster, block, anything to kind of support the hips here. Now, we want our hips nice and squared. So that back leg is shooting out directly behind us. And just like we did in our lunges, that right hip is drawing back, left hip shifting forward. So it's active here. There's almost a lift so that I could hover the hands if I wanted. So we've got this active support here. So either squaring through the hips or imagine drawing the knees together, like you're trying to scrunch up in between your mat. So we're nice and active here. We'll take about 10 rounds of breath. So feel free to explore. You could even bring a block or books up to the front, maybe playing with a little back bending, a little bit of king pigeon. You could kick the heel towards the glute, maybe working on a quad stretch there. Or if it would feel better, you could start to bow forward towards a humble pigeon, maybe bringing elbows to blocks or towards the ground. But as you bow forward, don't release that engagement in the core, or excuse me, in the hips. So you got that right hip drawing back, left hip shifting forward. So even as if you come all the way down, we don't want to collapse into a dead pigeon. We still want activity there to protect the hips. Now, if you have tighter hips like me, you're feeling this. There's plenty of sensation there. If you're more hypermobile and you have really open hips, you're not feeling a lot there, that's when it's even more important to keep that activation, keep that engagement. Excuse me. That activation in the hips is going to help it so you're not just sinking all that weight into the hip sockets, it's actually protecting your joints. So you want to keep that activation to build some strength around those hypermobile joints. So, a few more rounds of breath here. And always feel free to send a sigh or two out of the mouth. Awesome work. Now, when you're ready, we're coming out the way we came in. So we are raising back up. We're going to walk the hands back. You may want to toe heel the back heel forward so that you can get a good plant of the hands. Plant the back toe, lift the hips. Bring that knee towards nose, heel towards the glute. So we're back in our one-legged plank pose. Inhale, re-extend, three-legged dog. Maybe a counter stretch here with scorpion, dropping that heel, knee opens. Awesome work, re-extend, come back to our downward dog. All right, we'll take that on the other side once I get the sweat out of my eye. Whew. All right, here we go. From our downward dog, inhale, extend left leg up, hips squared. Exhale, bend the knee, hips open. All right, we've got that hurdle that we're coming over. Inhale, left leg up and over, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, over the hurdle, back up, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring it forward, over the hurdle, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, re-extend, back over the hurdle, three-legged dog. Inhale, bring it forward, knee towards nose. Exhale, re-bend, three-legged dog. Last one. Inhale, up and over. Left knee, left elbow. And bring the left knee over towards the right. Inhale, left knee, left elbow. Little tick-tock. Exhale, over to the right elbow. One more, working those obliques. Inhale, left knee, left elbow. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. All right, step that left foot over towards the right. Setting up our pigeon. Starting to lower the left knee down towards the left. Take your time to set this up. Honoring each side. So again, that back leg is shooting out directly behind us. That left hip is drawing in. So we've got that activity, a little lift here. So we're either squaring through the hips, drawing the knees together. You can also think about Mula Bandha activation. So drawing that pelvic floor up. Awesome work. A few more rounds of breath. And again, you're welcome to stay up in our king pigeon, maybe kicking the heel towards the glute, getting a little quad stretch, working a little back bend, or casually start to lower down. But stay active. So we're not collapsing, we're protecting our hip sockets, the hip joints. Working on that structure, that strength, that divine masculine energy. Few more rounds of breath. All right, and when you are ready, we're going to come back to our downward dog. So we want to walk the hands back, maybe shifting that knee forward a little bit so the shoulders are over or in line with the wrists. Then propping the back foot, lift the hips, lift that back knee or left knee up, and then re-extend three-legged dog. And exhale, set it down. Downward dog. Awesome work. We're gonna hop or step the feet through, coming into a seat. All right, awesome work. Sending out through the legs. Once again, making our way all the way down to the ground. Reach the arms overhead. Roll out through the wrists and ankles. Wiggle through the fingers. Spread out through the toes. Fantastic work. When you're ready, we'll start to draw the knees in towards the chest. A little tuck through the tailbone if some rocking side to side would feel good, or some circles through the knees. All right, then we're going to plant the feet, knees bent, legs a little wider than hip distance. And we'll take just a few rounds of windshield wipers. So just letting the knees drop towards the right, up through center, over towards the left, or whatever pace feels good for you. And then when you feel ready, we will be settling into a twist. So letting the knees drop over towards the right. If it feels good to keep the feet wide like this, feel free. And then if you'd like, maybe bring a little more awareness to pointing that left knee down towards the right corner of your mat, just to kind of extend a little more through that hip flexor, through the quad, maybe feeling it in the back, down into anywhere in the leg. But if there's a different version of a twist you'd like to take here, maybe you want to bring knees stacked, maybe you want to cross that right ankle on top of the left. Find what works for you. Arms could swell out, they could reach overhead, you could bring them to the belly. Feel that heat, that warrior fire that you've built in the body. A few more rounds of breath here. Try to stay connected.
I know it's a little more challenging as we wind things down and don't have much active movement for the mind to tune into. It's easy then for the mind to put the body on autopilot so the mind can start to wander, start thinking about other random things. So try to really stay present. Find those anchors, find that sensation, find the breath, find your presence. And when you're ready, we'll slowly start to draw the knees back up through center. Feel free to take any movements between sides that would feel good. Maybe you want to revisit those windshield wipers. Any other movements that you'd like to take between sides. And then when you feel ready, we'll start to set up our twist on the other side, letting the knees drop over towards the left. Again, if you're staying with the knees nice and wide, then maybe bringing a little more awareness to that right knee, pointing it towards the front left corner of your mat. So you get a little more extension, maybe a little more sensation in this area. But again, take any twist you'd like to take on this side. Doesn't necessarily have to be the same exact shape that you created on the other. Working both sides to bring balance, but also to explore, to observe, to notice the asymmetries, the imbalances, just get to know the body. As we relax here and let's twist. Starting to feel the body maybe cool down a little bit, releasing some of that masculine energy, some of that warrior fire, but allowing some of that to stay in the body, to feel that strength. A few more rounds of breath. And whenever you begin to feel ready, slowly starting to bring the knees back up towards center. Again, take any movements that would feel good. Maybe another round of windshield wipers. Maybe you draw the knees in towards the chest. Maybe you take the feet up towards the sky and a happy baby. All right, and when you're ready, once again, feet on the ground. Ooh, legs about hip distance this time. Knees bent, heels walking in towards the glutes. We're setting up a bridge pose. If you want to take supported bridge, have a block, bolster, cushion, blanket, whatever it is handy. So we're going to walk the feet in towards the heels, and then we're going to puff up through the chest, tuck the shoulder blades underneath. So we're really exaggerating this arch in the spine. And then when you're ready, press into the feet, lift through the toes, spread them out, and then set the toes down so you have that solid connection to the feet. Press into the hips, press into the feet as you lift the hips up. You're welcome to stay here in bridge pose or take supported bridge. And finding any sort of prop or whatever level feels right for you. It could be lower down here, still getting a nice opening in the hips, a little stretch for the hip flexors. Or working a little higher, working a little more back bending. You could, if you have a block, take it up to level 3. That's too intense for my back, so I'm just gonna chill right here. I'm just getting a nice opening in the hips, stretch for the hip flexors. If you don't have a block there, you could even exaggerate that puffing up the chest even more, tucking the outsides of the shoulders in. You could even interlace the hands. So without the prop, it's a little more active. With the prop, it's a little more passive. And breathe. Stay. stay here. Maybe close the eyes. You can explore that stretch in the hip flexors and the arch in the low back a little bit more if you'd like by maybe extending one leg out at a time. Maybe they both eventually extend out if that's not too much. You could also take this into a gentle inversion by lifting the feet off the ground. These could be stay bent or they could extend. So a few options to explore here. We'll take about another minute or so here. Starting to wrap up your exploration here. And then as you start to feel ready, if the feet were raised up off the ground, plant the feet. If you have, a prop there, lift the hips just high enough to slide the prop out from underneath and slowly start to set the hips back down. And then again, find whatever feels awesome here. If it's taking another round of windshield wipers, knees in towards the chest, happy baby, some sort of twisting. Take a few minutes for that. Awesome work. And then when you're ready, we're just gonna come up to a seated position just to set up this next pose. So you are going to want either a cushion, a bolster would be ideal, but cushions, blankets, a rolled up blanket. You could use pillows. So I've just got my trusty blanket. I'm gonna roll it up. Of course, the thicker the blanket, the thicker your roll. And I'm gonna set it near the back. Since I know that this isn't gonna be long enough to support my whole spine, I'm also gonna use a block here. So what we're gonna do is take a heart opener. So we're gonna take our whatever prop we've got near the low back and then lie the spine back along it. So ultimately what we're looking for here is to get a lift in the back of the heart so that the tops of the shoulders can drop back and down to really get this opening across the belly, across the chest, so that, just a little more opening than we would get if we were just lying flat on the ground. So kind of work with what you got at home as far as props to bring that lift in the spine to open up through the shoulders. Arms can be reaching out, they can be in goalposts, or if you need a little more containment, the hands could come to the belly. You could even cross the arms over the body. With the legs, you could have them extended out like I do for a little bit more of a fish pose. Most gentle option, planting the feet on the ground, letting the knees drop in towards each other as the knees bend. Or my favorite, taking it into a hip opener, bringing the bottoms of the feet to touch, knees drop open. If you're taking this option and want some support, you could slide blocks, books, anything underneath the knees to help catch them. You could slide cushions or anything underneath the knees. You could lift the feet up on a cushion or stack of pillows. So just take your time to open up into this heart opener. Maybe you're creating a hip opener as well. And in this openness in the torso, allow yourself to bring your energy, bring your awareness to your third chakra. So this is your solar plexus. It's above the belly button, right below the ribs. This is the birthplace of our divine masculine energy. This is where we develop discernment, where we develop self-assertiveness, where we develop healthy boundaries, where we set up structure for our lives. And it happens to be located right above the solar plexus, which is below the belly at the pelvis. And that's the house of our divine feminine energy. So they play together, they intermingle, they're neighbors, and they learn to balance each other out. You need both, and you are both. You're both and. One of my favorite descriptors of the necessity of both these divine feminine and divine masculine energies, the Shakti Shiva, is the idea of a riverbank. Without the banks of the river, without the structure of the river, the flowing water is just going to be a big, wet mess. And without the water flowing through these banks, just going to be a dry patch of dirt. So you need both. You need that structure to not necessarily confine the divine feminine, but give it a structure to flow and move within. So the structure can't be so rigid that there's no fluidity, there's no movement, there's no expression. There has to be that balance. So some of my favorite ways to think about the balance of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And we need to honor both. We need to work on both. And as I said at the beginning, both have a light side and a shadow side. And unfortunately, in this society, a lot of men are taught to repress their divine feminine, to not express their emotions, to be stoic, to be the strong provider. You have to be the head of the household. You have to be the main breadwinner. You have to be dominant over the female species physically, sexually, financially. There's all these rules that society puts on our divine masculine. And that's what we need to work through, the shadow side of that masculine energy. A few more rounds of breath here. As you feel ready to come out, If the knees are open, you can bring the hands down to the knees to help them draw together. And then however you choose to get out, if you want to come to seated, maybe bring the hands to the back of the head to support the neck as you sit up. You can also just roll off to the side. You can remove any props, and we'll start to make a transition towards our Shavasana, or our final relaxation. But want to give you some time to explore any final movements, any final stretches, anything that'll help round out your practice. So take as much time as you'd like to start to explore those, to really wrap it up. And then as you feel ready, starting to make your way to your Shavasana, your final relaxation pose, whatever that looks like for you. Could be traditional corpse pose, lying on the back, palms turned up, toes turned out. But as always, if lying on the back doesn't feel awesome for you today, lie on the side, lie on your belly, come to a seated meditation. Really find whatever position works for you today. It's going to be different. It's going to be different every day. It's easy to get into habitual patterns with our yoga practice, especially when we have a regular yoga practice. And we sometimes bring in our thoughts from our last practice, or what we think a pose should look like, what we kind of force this idea of our practice on our practice. And really, you should just be in it, because our body is constantly changing, the mind is constantly changing. So don't force any certain Shavasana. Tune in, find what feels right. Maybe put on some nice gentle music. We'll do about a minute of this here, but you're welcome, especially if you have the time, please take more time for your Shavasana. This is the most important pose of our practice, always. This time to reflect, to relax, to surrender, to feel. Allow your body to release, to relax, to feel the support of the earth, the support of the space around you. Feel the support of your body. Feel the structure of your body. Feel the strength of your body as you relax into it. Allow the eyes to close, the mind to soften, the breath to naturally flow. Allow any noises of your external environment to be a part of the beauty of your present moment, the beauty of your home practice, the beauty of being alive right now.
And if you have more time to dedicate to your Shavasana, please take at least 5 minutes, up to 20 minutes, to continue this deep practice. As you feel ready, before you start to move, just take a moment, bringing the hands to the belly. To just be thankful for that divine masculine energy you carry with you. To be thankful for the gifts that it offers. And then bringing the hands to the heart. Give thanks to all of the divine masculine energy around you. Give thanks to your fathers, your father figures, the positive role models in your life. I recognize that not everyone has a solid relationship with their fathers or with their children. Knowing that positive male energy, positive masculine energy is all around us. Not only am I grateful for my father and my brothers who have shown me the amazing things, how to be amazing men, but I've been blessed with many male friends that show me what it's like to honor their divine masculine, to use their strength, to use their alignment. Thank you. As you feel ready, gently bring some movement back to the body. Gently starting to roll onto one side of the body if you're not already there. And then gently press your way back up to a comfortable seat. I'll invite you to bring the hands to heart center or take any other meaningful gesture with the hands. Thank you so much for allowing me into your home today. Thank you for allowing me to share this gift of yoga, the gift of our divine masculine energy, and for an opportunity to give thanks. If you would like to practice with me in person, I am here every Sunday at noon. If you're in the Salt Lake or Park City area, I'd love for you to join. Thank you again so much. I see you, I honor you, and I bow to you. Namaste.